Hello everyone, today we're going to be taking a look at how to deploy to production in Rails 8, which is actually pretty similar to Rails 7, it's just gotten a little bit easier. And I mean, to be fair, in Rails 7 it was already getting pretty easy towards the end there. But we're just going to create a quick app, we're going to deploy it to a DigitalOcean droplet, and then we're going to set up SSL with Kamal so that you can just go ahead and run your app. This is going to be great if you're trying to set up any sort of vibe-coded app or anything similar, because it's going to give you the ability to quickly spin something up, push it to production, and then let Claude, I don't know, do all your thinking for you. We're going to start by doing a Rails new video command, and then I'm going to do a -C for Tailwind just to make it look pretty. And then I'll go ahead and CD into this video folder once it's up and running. So go ahead and run our setup process. We can then go over to GitHub. We can create a new repository, or you can just go to github.new. That'll also redirect you to this page. And then I'll just go ahead and call this Rails 8 prod video. It really doesn't matter what you call the repo. I'll go ahead and create it. Also, they now have like this jumpstart with Copilot option, which I find weirdly funny. Once that's done, we can go ahead and do a git status inside of our project. We'll do a git add dot a git commit -m with init commit, basically just setting up our repo real quick. We can do this later or we can do it now. We might as well do it now. And then we'll go ahead and we'll copy these 3 commands. Of course, if you use GitLab, do the same thing. Just do it with GitLab as your endpoint instead of GitHub. Cool. Now that that's done, let's go ahead and run a code dot. We're just going to very quickly set up a very sample bloggy thing. To do that, we'll do a Rails G scaffold. We'll call it post. We'll give each post a title. We'll hit enter. We're going to ignore the body for right now and instead do a Rails G action _text : install command. That's going to add our action text and our active storage, which allows us to upload images and files. That'll give us our WYSIWYG editor, or the what you see is what you get. We can then come into our app. Let me bump up the font size. Let's come into config and routes first, because I want to set the root of the application to be the post controller index action. Then we can go up here to the, let me just close all this. I absolutely despise what they're doing to VS Code right now. We can come up to the models and the post.rb inside of our app folder. We'll say this has rich text, and we'll say this is for body. So it's has _rich _text space : body. That gives us a body that we can put the rich text into. We can then come into app controllers, post controller, scroll down to the bottom. And then after this title, we can then do body. Go ahead and save that. Now we have the model and the controller done along with the route. The last thing to do here is come into the views, the posts, and the post form. We'll start by creating another container. Oops, in this case, it is my-5. I'll hit tab to use Emmet for tab completion. Then I'll go ahead and hit tab on the Copilot suggestion. I'll hit Control B to hide the side panel. That will generate a form .rich _text _area, like that. It'll have 10 rows. It'll have these classes. Here, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of the stuff that I don't fully understand looking at it after 5 seconds, because I get this is just a style around the box. And we can go ahead and save this. We'll run a bin/dev to start our server. We'll go over to localhost port 3000 in our browser. It'll prompt us to run our migrations. We'll click the button without thinking, and then we have our app. We create a new post. We'll say this is a test case. We'll bold this case, and then let me go over to unsplash.com. Let me come over to these files, do something great. I don't know. We'll just find a picture, one of these, download it, open up our downloads. I got a bunch of stuff from messing around with my friends earlier. If we want to add an MLG air horn, we can also do that. If we think that's funny, we can hit create post and nothing will show up here. So now let's make it show up by coming into our app views posts and our post partial. And then right below the title, we'll just do the post.body. If we save this and then we refresh, we'll see that the magic has happened and we now have the file here along with the picture. Cool. So this is our app. I'm going to go ahead and do a git add dot git commit -m create the app, and I'll do a git push. That is now done. Now we want to set up our actual server. So to do that, we're going to come over to DigitalOcean. So I'll have a link to my referral code. I'll put it in the video description. This just means that if you end up spending, I think it's $25 on DigitalOcean, they'll then give me $25. It's not a bad deal. It gives you, a droplet. It gives you, what, $200 over 60 days. So you get 2 months free hosting if you don't have an account already. It's just a way to help yourself out and help me out. But you're not here to listen to me show my stuff. So we'll go over to my Deanin YouTube project and create a droplet. For this droplet, we're just going to use a very basic image. And the whole reason we're doing this is because Kamal will set up the server for us. So we'll go with Ubuntu. We'll set it to 24.04. Go over to regular. I'm going to do a $12 droplet so I don't have to sit here all day. I'll add an SSH key. Come down here. I'll call this prod-video. That's just what I'm calling mine. Call your droplet whatever you would like. I'll go ahead and I'll click create. From there, you should be able to navigate over to droplets, find your droplet, and you'll see that it's starting to spin up. While all of that's happening, I would suggest going over and finding a domain name. I'm going to be using this BusyDevs one that I have pointed over to Cloudflare. This is just how I do it. If you don't have Cloudflare, you can do these same records, but you're going to point it to whatever your droplet's IP address ends up being. So in my case, it provisioned a 167 IP. I'm going to go ahead and copy this. Come over here. In my DNS records, I'm going to create an A record for, in my case, busydevs.com, because that's a domain name that I like to use in these videos. And then I'm going to set this as the IP. I'll set the TTL to 1 minute. You should probably do auto and proxy it. In my case, I'm just going to set it to 1 minute. And if you're doing this for the first time, maybe just follow what I'm doing here. Make sure it works. And then after you verify that everything works, then you can come in and tighten things up. But okay, I've now set the IP. The other thing we want to do is come over to SSL, go into, I think, overview. Maybe, I thought it was overview. Configure. And then in here, I have mine set to flexible. You can have yours set to full or full strict, whatever works for you. And then you can hit save. Now that's done, we have our droplet, we have our SSL set up. We can now come over to our app, and then in our app, we can come into config, and we have this deploy.yml file. Now this is actually easier than last time. All we really need to do is set the IP address, and then we're going to uncomment this proxy setting, and we're going to set this to be busydevs.com in my case. You can see here there's some instructions. If you're trying to deploy multiple applications right here on a single web server, you can do this with enable SSL auto certification via Let's Encrypt. Don't do this if you're trying to deploy to multiple web servers, because then you have to terminate your SSL at the load balancer. So there's some instructions included now, which is nice. The other thing is for your registry, you can actually just set it to a local server, so you don't have to go over to Docker Hub and add your username and password like you used to. So we're just going to go with the rest of this as completely default out of the box, whatever it is. I'll go ahead and I'll hit F11 again. Now to actually do this, I'm going to add this to my repo, -m, add deploy file. So I'm just going to do that. I'm going to do git push. I'm just going to push it. I don't think you have to push it. You probably just want to commit it. And then from here, we're going to go ahead and do a Kamal setup. Now, at this point, this will either work for you or you're not going to have Docker installed. Okay. If Docker desktop maybe is what I should be looking for here. I'm getting all confused. We're going to go over to Docker desktop. And then from here, you can download Docker desktop for your operating system. There we go. Docker Hub is where you store your images if you decide to use it, which is what I'm using for some of my other stuff. So I'm getting confused. But what Kamal is going to do in the background as all of this is running, it's going to go to the server, it'll connect to it, and it'll say, wow, there's no Docker on this server. Failed to run our Docker command. What does that mean? Well, it means we're missing Docker, So we should probably go ahead and install Docker. You can see right here, curl fsl get docker.com. It gets the version of Docker, it installs Docker, then it'll build Docker, or build the Docker image. And this is coming from, if we go over to VS Code, inside of your app, you have a Docker file. This is how you run your app. It's going to go in, it's going to build the entire thing as a container. It's going to use thrust, etc. That is going to be built on your local machine based on your current Git, I believe, whatever your Git history is. In my case, I pushed all of this. A lot of this stuff is cached because I ran a demo version that was very similar. Once this is all done, it'll then push that container to the local host in this case, or this would be Docker Hub if you had like a Docker Hub repository that you were pointing to. In this case, it's pointing to localhost port 5555. Once that's done, it'll then pull that image, put it onto the server here, the 167 in my case. Once that's completely pulled over there, it'll then spin up a container based on that image. It'll create the Kamal network. It does all of the other stuff right here, Docker container start for the Kamal proxy. It goes through all of this, and then at some point, we should get down to the bottom where it just executes, and then it should exit after the health check passes. So we see here, first web container is healthy, booting everything else. Now at this point, if we minimize the terminal, we should be able to come over to, in my case, busydevs.com. And if I try to connect to this by going to https busydevs.com, it takes me to the website. I'm getting this not secure here, probably because it's cached. So let me try going to it in my other browser tab. And you can see here that my incognito does say that I have a certificate here. Connection is secure. I have a place where I can create posts. I'll say test and case. I'll bold this. I'll come down here and then let me see if I can maybe grab that image again, and I'll try to upload it. I'm uploading this to the production server here, so I'll hit create post. We create the post. There it is, right? We can refresh. Now, if we come over here and let's say we want to update our server. So I'll show you how to do one last thing. We come into the app posts, and this is the post show page. So let me go over to all posts. So instead of it saying all posts here in the index, or I guess posts in the index, I'm going to change this to my super cool blog Dean helped. You know what? I'm going to leave it like that. Me make with the typo because it adds character. I can then come over here, do a git add dot, git commit dash m. We'll say add my super cool new feature. Do a git push. Now, normally you would be doing this through branches. You wouldn't just be pushing straight to main, but you know me, I like to do things we're not supposed to. And then from here, I think we can just do another Kamal deploy. Well, I got it to update. I just realized that I set the content for the title, not the H1. So up here, it says my super cool new thing that Dean helped me make. Oddly on brand that I would make that type of mistake. Again, if you want to change your title, just change it right here, push it up, do the same thing. All right, so that's done again. If I come over here and I refresh, we now have our super cringe title that's actually been set. Anyways, that's basically how you deploy to production at this point. I mean, we just pushed 2 updates. The total runtime of this entire video before I did all of my editing is about 18.5 minutes. I'm sure it'll be shorter after I cut out some of the silent time while I'm waiting for things to build. But overall, you can expect like a 10 to a 15 minute deploy time probably for your first one. And then from there, it gets a lot quicker. You just run your command. You can see here like subsequent deploys if it's smaller changes are just like less than a minute. And you pretty much don't have to think about it because Kamal handles everything. If you need any help, there's Kamal documentation online. You can just search for Kamal documentation or Kamal 2. You can also just run the Kamal command and it'll show you all of the other commands that you can run. This is all the stuff that you're going to use for maintaining your server and doing your production deployments. There's other tutorials like Kamal Secrets is a good one if you want to look that up. That's going to show you how to use like secret keys and API tokens in a secure way. But for now, this is my intro to production in Rails 8 tutorial. Thank you for watching. Hopefully I will see you in the next one.